watching Chicago's very own WGN News.
Attorney Dan Herbert, who represented former Chicago police officer JasonVanDyke, joins us to talk about his sentence and the possibility of an appeal. Former Chicago police officer JasonVanDyke will serve several years in prison for the shooting death of Laquan McDonald.
My findings are an appropriate sentence would be 81 months in the Illinois Department of Corrections, 2 years mandatory supervised release.
Van Dyke was punished for a second-degree murder conviction last week and sentenced to nearly 7 years behind bars. The decision was handed down after a day-long hearing with emotional testimony, including that from Van Dyke's wife and daughter. Jason Van Dyke is expected to serve 50% of his sentence, which would be at least 3 years, but it is still not known if he plans to file an appeal. And joining us now to talk about that is Dan Herbert, the lawyer who defended Jason Van Dyke. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So what are plans for appeal?
We haven't made a decision yet. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to our clients going to make the decision. Right now, we're just waiting for him to be housed in his permanent facility, and then we're going to go down there and have a talk with him and let him know the pros, cons, and the odds of reversal and the odds of perhaps a new trial where perhaps a new sentence could be enhanced.
Take us back to that moment when the sentence was handed down. I read that you described this as the first time that you had seen him happy during this whole ordeal.
Yeah, well, you saw his reaction earlier. He's a tough guy to play poker with. You know, he doesn't show a lot of reaction. So I felt good about it, but then when we went back to the jury room, which is where him and his family were housed, he was really happy. You know, he's got a tough road ahead of him. He's going to jail where he is going to have to be on his toes for the next almost 3 years. He's going to come out and have difficulty finding a job, but you know, he was happy because everything had gone so against him throughout this entire process. This was the first sign that perhaps things were turning around for him. So it was really a great feeling. I mean, I felt great walking out of there, just seeing the reaction of him and his family.
A lot of people upset with the use of the word happy when you're describing a situation like this. Obviously, I'm sure no one's happy in this situation, but especially, is that a painful word to use when you're talking about a 17-year-old who's dead and that side of their family? It's hard to hear.
Yeah, and that's a fair point. And I know there was a columnist that kind of criticized my use of the word happy, and I get it. I mean, nobody's happy about the death of Laquan McDonald, especially the Van Dyke family, not because of the sentence in their situation, but they truly are a Catholic family, and they feel the weight of this. But I didn't mean that in any way to disparage the McDonald family. I certainly feel for them. The McDonald family actually treated me very well during the trial, being the face of Jason Van Dyke. So, but I also am close to my client, and you know, we're human beings, and to see a little bit of happy emotion out of my client after all he's been through, all of us felt pretty good about that.
Describe your conversation real quickly with his wife and his family members and what they're saying today.
Yeah, you know, they're certainly scared for their husband and their father. The daughters are two of the greatest young girls I've ever met. Their 17-year-old got up there, and I'm getting goosebumps now, gave just a great from the heart talk. They're scared for their dad, they're scared for their situation going forward, but they are so relieved that they are going to have their father back in their life. It's really it's a nice feeling for them.
When do we get a final decision on an appeal from your camp?
You'll know in the next couple weeks.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Sure. Thank you.